Just from when I was sitting down watching the game, though, Chancellor looked, he was all over the field. The few plays he was out, I felt like they were targeting the center field a little bit more. Chancellor plays that monster back. He's all over the field. There's a lot of things. So, I'm very excited because just watching his preview, if you were watching the preview, you saw just how involved he was and everything he did on a down-and-down basis was probably more so than almost any other player on the defense. Outside maybe a defensive tackle, but Chancellor played every snap. So, his value just was astronomical to me. So, why don't we just get into it and enjoy what I think was a just outrageously awesome Super Bowl from a guy that probably doesn't get anywhere near enough credit that he deserves. This kickoff return to game was just so silly. Just don't understand it. It's such an easy way to just calm everything down, get the quarterback on the field, just take that knee. Don't think you need a big return to start the game, but what do I know? So let's just get into what we're looking at now. You know what? This isn't going to show us anything. Let's be real. Let's just get into the first series. A bad snap doesn't shows nothing. So, okay, here's our single high. Here's our zone, our box. Man to man to cover 3 over here. And Chancellor sitting right here. We know that we saw this formation aplenty when watching the previews. And, the Patriots did a great job by jamming the center guy. Welker seems to be a perfect candidate for this. We see Chancellor kind of cheating up pre-snap. Kind of giving that look that maybe that's what he's going to do. Maybe try and draw Peyton from not throwing the quick bubble. Because it was there. And maybe just seeing Chancellor pop up a little bit. The run-pass option, we're going to just take this out. We're going to move him around without having to be physical. We'll give the idea that we're going to be. That's schematically. Not that Chancellor was one that stopped it, but maybe just gave that impression to Peyton. You see him kind of looking over there, too, pre-snap. He's got to give that look just to see if truly, kind of looking right at Chancellor look like. So, that's the idea there, I feel. Because each one of those plays is run-pass option, as and we know from all the pregame hype. Now, we're seeing kind of a too-high safety. We'll see how they play it. Sherman looking like he's going to, they didn't have anyone over here. And typically Sherman had played off when there was no one to cover. But I guess they moved him probably onto a number 3 receiver over here. And he goes back into his more comfortable left cornerback position. And this turns into a cover 3, maybe a cover 1 robber type situation if this is man under. But it doesn't look like it's man under just by how he's been played off the snap. So let's watch Chancellor sit in the middle of the field. That's a great jump, a great read. No yak. This is a play that's supposedly going to allow for some running room. A lot of times this guy running upfield, him running across. Chancellor doesn't bite here. He doesn't bite here. He knows he's got the safety up behind him. He knows he's got the cover 3 guy in this corner. And he's able to rally here. This linebacker's taken off. He's off. This is a terrific read. Almost looks like they're in man, actually, with a single high safety. The way this is all covered and him trying to rally to this guy. That was a lot of dig routes and whip routes and stuff like that and underneath. Now, personally, I'd rather see him wrap up and drill him, but hey, that's can't argue with results sometimes. And look, you kind of get that too high look pre-snap, but I think they sit in too high once in this entire game. So that's a terrific play from Chancellor off the bat. Now here's too high. What was the down distance? Let's get down distance. 3rd and 5, I think it is. That was so quick. So Chancellor's sitting here and just double twins, empty with, oh no, trips. Excuse me, here's the trips. So trips left, twins right. And they kind of switch it up. He goes to single high and Thomas jumps under, which is something they have not done a lot this year. That was something they did last year. I think they became to feel that Chancellor was a better interior guy and Thomas was a better center fielder. Maybe his ball skills are a little bit better than Chancellor's. Probably definitely are. I'd suggest that. But, just maybe trying to get a little different action. They know probably out of this formation they've seen trips, they see post routes a lot. Maybe he knows that the potential center field will have been open and cheating. That's a good tackle. I'm just going to watch Chancellor. That was one thing Seattle did terrifically. It's just gave him no yards. I mean, no route there. No passing lane there for Peyton. They're kind of too high look. Chancellor sitting here. He's so close to the line of scrimmage though. What's that, about 7-8 yards? A little respect for the run game, it seems. Try and cheat him up a little bit now that he has played that a lot this year. And they didn't change what they did. This is how they lined up every game, every way. It didn't matter really too much. And you see a little bit, now it's zone. And he's sitting right in the middle of it. But look how quick Chancellor reacts. I mean, this is a good read on the ball, reading Peyton's eyes. Gets a nice break on the ball. Almost, there's a lot of times, especially for a guy like Welker, this is, Welker catches these passes, but a lot of times, maybe outside of Welker, I should say, that this can be an incompletion because, he's sitting in the zone. This is a perfect route from Welker, but this is also one of those suicide routes that once you catch it, you're getting crammed. But I mean, look, he rallies faster than these other two guys by a decent bit. Gives good angle for it. You just see how he's playing. You see how they're doing. I mean, he's an underneath guy. I mean, he caught this immediately. Now, giving up completion, you know what? That's what cover 3 is. You give up completions, especially underneath. It's just part of the system. But the big thing in it is being able to tackle. If just a bad example, but Jacksonville this year, a lot of the problems came from inability to rally to the ball and tackle, playing the same exact system. Obviously, there's no talent like these guys on the outside, but you really can see just how effective it can be if you can make those tackles. Giving up 4 or 5 yards in the passing game. I think Peyton's yards per attempt at the end of this game is in the 5 range, 5.1, 5.2. In the pass game, that's terrific. That's less than the number of yards per attempt that Adrian Peterson had last year rushing. So here's Chancellor playing in that outside linebacker position. And we see what is a 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of like a 6-man front almost, with a single back, just eating up gaps everywhere. They know it's 2nd and 5. The pistol formation also kind of yells run. So, you kind of get this formation and bring him up. Let's just cover gaps here. Chancellor's our outside contain guy. Chancellor. Cam Chancellor's playing outside contain. It's a strong safety. Look at him take on a tackle. Or, well, I don't even know. I gotta rewind this. Might be a pulling guard or a tackle. And he's inside shouldering him. Keeps his outside shoulder free. Keeps his contain. Look at it, forces the ball into our, well, here's our linebacker. He's kind of been knocked off the ball, it seems, trying to cut here. It's good technique from our linebacker. I mean, really, this is a great play. He's getting held now. This is a safety playing outside linebacker. This is a safety. Who blocks him? Guard. Frontside guard. This is a safety taking on a frontside guard. Let's be real here. Let's count the safeties in the NFL that make this play like this. Eric Weddle. Troy Polamalu. Polamalu played probably the same technique to the outside. But I mean, that's a terrific engagement forces the ball inside, gets help from his inside guys like he's supposed to. That was a 2-yard gain. And the fumble makes it a no gain. I mean, that's just a terrific play. So we've seen one outstanding play with Demaryius Thomas. A great rally, a good play, and a Welker catch. And I would probably say this is outstanding too, just given that he's a strong safety, doing a great job versus a pulling guard. Now, is he hurt at this time? No, this is interception. I apologize. So let's see. He's now in that single high formation. Oh, you pain ass. There it is. So he's in this single high. Now this is again a variation. This is something that probably Peyton did not see on film too much. See the stacked wide receiver. They're playing it like this. He's going to jam, and Sherman's going to take the deep. He's going to jam here, and he might blitz off the edge, and he'll take the deep. Or he's going to drop the flat. He'll drop the curl, and he'll take the deep third. He'll take deep third, hook to curl, and they'll leave the flat open because you see the backs to this way. So he's a king back, we'll call it. Call his strength this way. So I just want to see formation. So there's your rub route. He's jamming here. Earl Thomas is, so they're pretty much in man coverage. That's how they adjusted there. And he's playing center field. I mean, that's, why is this important? He's rallying to the post route. We'll get the full breakdown. But he's rallying to the post route. That's his responsibility. He's not there to cover the guy to the point of stopping it, but he's already breaking on the ball now. I mean, its positioning's terrific. I think we got a good angle from it from the end zone. They have good positioning, good reaction, understand the route that's going to be run, understands the rub route going up the middle. It's obviously a poor throw. And had this throw been on target, let's see where Chancellor would have been. Maybe this might be a little negative. No, I think he adjusts well. I think he adjusts the ball. I think it's just over him, right? That's just over his head. So there really isn't too much going on here. He's adjusting, makes a great adjustment. Yeah, that's what it is. So I think that ball's thrown well. He's there to make the tackle or maybe force the ball out. Yeah, that's a terrific job. So that's 4 so far. Great plays we've seen from Cam Chancellor. Okay. Now, I know he comes off the field at some point. I don't see him on the field. So we'll run it. Because I'm curious how the defense reacts without Chancellor on the field. I'm seeing Sheed. I don't remember seeing Sheed in the game too much. So yeah, there's no Chancellor. And we kind of look how they're more of a base. They're not putting a guy up on a line of scrimmage like they had that 5-man line earlier. Kind of like in a base 4-3 cover 3. Kind of looks. Almost a cover 2 look, really. Maxwell's in there, terrific corner. I mean, he might make me eat all my words on Brandon Browner. That's just, Welker does a poor job blocking. But I mean, you gotta give credit that he was able to beat the man block there. See, I think they're playing more of a base defense now. They've lost their monster back. And it's a much more vanilla defense than what they had been playing, where they're moving guys all over the place. This is a lot of stuff we were seeing late in games against like Jacksonville and stuff, where just base defense, vanilla, 4-3. Not going to try and rush anyone too much off the edges. He's going to give potential jam, make sure he doesn't get off the ball free. Just basic cover 3 defense. They read run all the way there, huh? They had that sniffed out. Chancellor's still not in the field, it looks like. No. So, look, you can see how they have to adjust their alignment without him. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, alignment has been, from what you were seeing earlier, he's kind of pushing a little bit here. But, we're seeing single back. We're seeing 5-6 guys on the line of scrimmage, Chancellor over the field. Now we have to kind of base it up a little bit. And you know what? They're finding little areas in the field to throw the ball because the windows aren't as tight as they were with Chancellor. See, now we're into a cover 2 look pre-snap. I mean, that's something that we hadn't really seen yet. Now he's reading run. Does a good job there. It's a little slow to reaction. Sheed. I think Thomas reads this all the way. Yeah, he saw a pull on guard. Very rarely will a guard pull. I just want to see. I think he's on pulls. Very rarely does a guard pull and then not run the ball. Yeah. That was a good read. Old Thomas, obviously, another fantastic talent in that secondary. Done a terrific job. Now we're seeing a little bit more out of what they were running before. Maybe try and get him initiated. In case Chancellor's not in there the rest of the game, you gotta play his defenses, right? This is what you run. You gotta play it. Oh, man. That is a terrific, terrific job by an outside linebacker. I was reading something, I think on the forums, I was saying like they should have run the ball more. Guess what? This is their run game. Yes, they have the hand the ball off game, but this is theoretically is one of the best ways to beat the Seattle Seahawks is screens, because zone teams typically don't do well against screens. But what happens when linebackers are beaten by receivers on blocks, even Sherman kind of rubs off with Welker there too. So, overall, it's just terrific. Still no Chancellor. Still pretty vanilla. And that was there. Ooh. Tell you, 30-year-old Peyton was yelling at 40-year-old Peyton because he had him. Thomas reacted a little late. Sherman gave up the inside leverage because he had Thomas. Sherman's not really beat here. He knows he has help here. So he gives this up a little bit to the inside. He's making sure nothing happens to the outside. But Thomas is not. He's just hips a little slow there. Ball's thrown out in front. There's potential. I mean, it would have been nice to see it. A nice thrown ball there. Just to have seen it. Still no Chancellor. And they're putting Sheed deep. Just go quarter 3. I thought Chancellor came back in the second quarter, but we're getting to the point where not much was happening there. Here's our 2-eye. So this is after you just ran a touchdown back, got a touchback. I tell you, they really changed some things up. Obviously, they go into cover 2 look all the time, and I think, like I said, once this game, they stayed in. They don't stay in this. They give this pre-snap look. See, he never even... What tells me that this wasn't cover 2 is he never bailed backwards, and there was no run look up front. He's playing a robber. He was never leaving this 35-yard line. He was 15 yards off the ball. He was staying 15 yards off the ball. He kind of moved to the hash but bailed backwards. Look where he was running. Look where Chancellor was running. If this were cover 2, that'd be his deep half. Look how he reacts. The ball wasn't even thrown in. He was already running to that deep half. Tells me it was cover 1 or cover 3. It's very hard sometimes to tell the difference just because of how technique is played in both styles. You have to be aggressive on the line of scrimmage both ways. Where's Chancellor? Oh, look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. That's great football. So Chancellor's lined up on Julius Thomas now, guys. Not playing, off the ball and let him run at you. He's on the ball and he's jamming at the line of scrimmage. Look at him engage. Julius Thomas's route's off. He's out of this play. Forget it. It's done. It's over. He never was going to make impact on this play after that jam. Let's do a size discrepancy there. Cam Chancellor is 6'3", wow, that's a big dude. 6'3", 232. This might not be as big as the difference as I thought. 6'3", 232 to 6'5", 250. I was thinking Chancellor was sitting at like 6'1" max. So height-wise, weight-wise, he's giving up about 20 pounds weight-wise, but man, that's pretty incredible. I didn't realize he was that big, but that's one way to use that size. Covering the back end. Oh, come on, man. Okay. Chancellor playing here. Got Thomas playing that deep. Kind of cheating. Oops. Yep. Oh. But I tell you, man, they don't know how to run the option routes. Decker. That's Decker, right? Yeah. Decker. Let's see. Was it there? Was the the seam route there? Decker. Say he doesn't break down. He runs here. I tell you, there was potential for it right here. And that's a weak spot of the cover 3, is right between the hash and the numbers. I think Peyton reads this right. He reads it wrong. Look how tight that coverage is here. There was no way the ball was being thrown here. We've been close. But I think that's a shot you have to take when the score's 29-0. Trying to hit that deep pass. Yeah, split that. Yep. Say Peyton sees things that in slow motion for him. I mean, all the flack he's gotten, I think he played still a worse than average game. I know his yards per attempt were bad, but it's kind of what was in the game plan. They were never going to be high. I never thought they were going to score a lot of points. I think I said before a game I was thinking 17-20 to 14. The Broncos with the 14. So that's Chancellor playing up top now. See, now cover 2 look, but it doesn't even look like they wanted to stay in it pre-snap. There's no interest. They have no interest in running cover 2. They probably never will. They'll show it once a game or something just to keep you honest. But look, in our cover 1, Robber. He just wants to be physical. Look where he starts. He starts in the left hash mark. Somehow makes a tackle at the numbers. Like, come on. Trying to tell me he wasn't ready for this game? I might have to take... I mean, I gotta watch his performance throughout the regular season a little bit closer, but... I had Eric Weddle as my first team safety. Might have missed something with Chancellor. That's another good play from him. I don't even know if this was supposed to be cover 2 again. It kind of looked like he wanted to cheat up and he was going to cheat back. He rallies to the ball well. I think he would have made a tackle anyway. It's incredible. Really, this film's even more impressive than watching him live. He flowed around the field just so well. finally actually has a neutral play. I would probably grade this neutral. Everything else was positive so far. He gets blocked here. Take the MVP away. Thing is, he doesn't have any ground on the block, so I can't even give him a negative. Don't care about penalties. We'll skip a play. Chancellor playing over the 3 slot. They check the zone. Did he get beat here? Now, again, he has... I guess the ball's thrown, huh? Yeah. I think real time. This was pretty good distance between the two of them. But his hips look bad. They look like he has feet under him as well. Actually, let's watch that from end zone. No, we didn't see anything. Useless. I see Cam Chancellor's name right here, though. So I'm excited. Very excited. Okay. Like, I want to know, like, when they're sitting in their meetings and they're going, well, we're gonna give that cover 2 look pre-snap. And then, it's like, well, what are we going to do this play? We're going to run him under, we're going to run him under, over. Like, it's just... I would actually love to sit in the meetings because you just know that they're never, ever sitting in this. You know, going to stay in this. It's just... It's almost like It's like in baseball. A shortstop and a second baseman. Who's taking the throw? Like, which one of these guys is going deep? Like, do they make the call or does the coach make the call? I almost get a feeling they have a free reign. Actually, might just saw some man. Was he playing man? Came off his cover guy and made the play on another guy's cover guy? No. Nope. All right, let's go. Let's break this down. So they're in zone, and they played zone so well. I actually mistook it for man for a second. So. See, he's got middle field, kind of got numbers in the hash. He'll have numbers to the outside, deep third over here. And you'll have pretty much hash to the side of the field because your flat player's got to cheat because you've got the running back coming out of the backfield there. So here's the crossing route, deep crossing route. This is a zone beater. This is what you draw up. Let's get time in the pocket. Let's make Peyton Manning throw the ball. You know, and from Denver's perspective, let's get him time in pocket. Let's get Peyton to throw the ball. And there's going to be a wide open guy right here because he's got to run off with him. But Chancellor knows he's got his deep third safety right in the middle of the field. And he just, this is what's impressive. He just passes him off. That's what you do in zone. You pass him off. That's what he does all the time. You got a guy in the middle of the field that's perfect for that. A nice gambler, a nice center fielder. And Chancellor, great footwork, gets his legs under him, you know, drops that left foot, plants it in the ground, tacks the ball. Look how he tacks the ball here. Through the man. I have a DB coach I worked with in high school. I played in Arena League. He would have absolutely... I can just see him watching the game, just losing it over that play. That might be the most impressive play of the game so far. Just a route that specifically targeted at him for him to screw up. You know, to beat him. That's what the route is specific. To beat that safety. And he plays it so well, he actually gets a pass breakup. Oh my God. I'm getting sad because I had that money on him to win the MVP. And I was trolling a little bit saying, you know, it was a GOAT defensive performance. Holy shit. Justin Tuck 2007 might be moving over. Nothing the last few plays, run plays, that he's playing in a deep safety spot. You know, just neutral plays because nothing happens. You gotta love how in this game, the first time in what seems a long time, especially through the playoffs, he has the deep third of the field. They wanted to give him that responsibility. They wanted, I imagine, the idea is that there was maybe some leaks over the middle of the field or just passes that he broke up but couldn't make a play on to get an interception. Now you put your chief gambler. You know, you got two great ball skill guys, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas. Great ball skill guys. Obviously great cover guys. But, you know, Cam Chancellor's probably a better cover guy than going up for a ball and taking it out of guys' hands. So maybe what the Seahawks idea was put him underneath, give like an underneath route where he can break on a ball, you know, get his hands on it, make a play, and allow him just to cover. But that's, you know, that's watch how this play breaks up. If it rolls in reverse where Chancellor's in the middle of the field and Thomas is deep, the way we see Chancellor play, we saw him broken a ball a lot earlier. Potentially he would have had the pass break up there. You know, not maybe so much on that route, but we saw how quick he was to attacking on the underneath routes in front of him. He read them terrifically. Where Thomas isn't going to be as physical as Chancellor. I mean, before I say anything, let's Earl Thomas. Let's see how big he actually is. He's 5'10", 202. Yeah, okay. Earl Thomas is nowhere, not going to be as physical as Cam Chancellor. He's got 5 inches shorter and probably about 30, 35 pounds less than Cam Chancellor. You don't expect him to be as physical. So that presence that he can bring in the middle of the field is not there with Earl Thomas. So strictly, that is a way for Earl Thomas to potentially make what I imagine they were going for was a game-ending interception. This is the saddest event I have ever watched in Super Bowl history. I mean, they're so disciplined in their zones. You know, he's not going to press. He's not going to play greedy right now. He's just going to take his deep third. Barely going to cover anyone in that sense. Same kind of here. They're just going to play their zones to the T. They're not going to let anything cheap get by him. Demarius Thomas, what I was saying, the weak spot on his zone and then the cover 3 is between the numbers and the hash. That's perfect, right? You know, I said that earlier in the game. I said that in the previews. That's where the weak part of the cover 3 is. I said you have to be very accurate because you miss anywhere else. We saw it's an interception. But he hits it perfectly, and then Demarius Thomas, I heard he had torn labrum or something. I don't know if that's an excuse or not, but well, it's not going to help you hold on to the ball, that's for sure. But come on, man. That can't happen. Okay, I think we could probably give one more drive because rest of the game just kind of looked like a Denver team that had quit. Now, now we see kind of their base defense that they've run. They're kind of getting out of their clever stuff. Game's out of hand at this point. So, yeah, see how quick he breaks on the ball. He has some terrific ball skills in the sense of not attacking a ball, but he rallies so well. The entire defense seems to rally so well to the ball. Now, that's not a play he's really going to make in the sense of breaking the pass up, but he's never going to allow a guy to get more than a yard. And that's from if he falls forward. Cover 3, playing that middle of the field, gets underneath this block. I mean, this is just a clinic. You could roll this tape, show how to play cover 3 in high schools. Look, I'm getting underneath this screen block from Julius Thomas, who's not even trying. That's not a block. I might turn this off. This is that's pretty ugly. He's playing at the top of the screen, rallies to the ball, Makes a tackle. My God. No missed tackles. No mistakes. Look where he's at. This is, they're playing softer cover 3. The zones are deeper. You can see it, right? He's not going to run across the field in the case that this guy cheats up. Keep everything in front of you. It's second and very long after a holding penalty. But man, forget it. You catch the ball, he's in your face, and he's making a tackle. What do you get? 2 yards of yards after catch? And with Julius Thomas, go after your hoe. You get tackled. I'm sorry, man. Now they're in too high, and they stay in it. That's when you know Pete Carroll called off the dogs. They went in too high and they stayed in it. Then he gives up a pass interference, and Pete Carroll is right back at it now. This stack stuff. This is how they defended it all game. It's very interesting. Not much to see there. Just sitting in his zone. Chancellor playing on the left hash marks. Playing that deep third. Earl Thomas had the underneath routes. I honestly feel like it's a shortstop, second baseman just saying, I got the cover, you got the cover. The way they seem to play, it's pretty incredible. Just how flawless they go from deep to underneath and underneath to deep. What I mean by that is Earl Thomas playing under or over, and vice versa for Cam Chancellor. It's so fluid. We don't see too much of a gap between the two. The only difference is just how Cam Chancellor rallies to the ball. He's in deep half, or excuse me, deep third. Oh no, excuse me. Chancellor get beat here? Just Chancellor? Oh. What happens? Looks like single high man. There's your negative play. Let's see how he reacts at the end of the play. Yeah, I don't know if one of them's supposed to be going, because there's no reason for it. Let's go back. Let's break this down. I don't know if we'll ever know what exactly happened here, but see blocking. That's gotta be what the problem is here. Okay, it's man-to-man coverage across the board. Chancellor has tight end, and he got caught in no man's land. He's in man-to-man coverage with the tight end. What ends up happening is what we would call is Blitz Engage. What that means is once he's engaged as a blocker, which he is right now, he blitzes, because he's not running a route, he's blocking. He has no responsibility now in this field. And what can happen if you don't just take off running at this moment in time, you can get in the way of someone else covering. So this is definitely, I would say this is definitely on Cam Chancellor. He got caught in no man's land. His guy didn't run for a route. When you don't play man coverage, and let's be real, the Seahawks don't play man coverage. They play, it's a zone. And these guys lose their man coverage responsibilities. And I think that's just what happened there. Is Chancellor didn't take off for the quarterback. Got caught in that, oh crap, he's blocking, what am I supposed to be doing? And the ball got thrown. No. I was talking, wasn't paying attention. So we were saying between the numbers and the hash marks, weak part of cover 3. Where's the touchdown? Between numbers and the hash marks. Alright, Chancellor's not backing up that deep third. That's Maxwell's responsibility. Thomas has the deep middle. You know, Manning found the weak spot in the zone. So, I don't think there's any point watching the fourth quarter. Everything was vanilla. You know, there's nothing to see. I'd have to go through Malcolm Smith's game. I think he had the fumble recovery, which probably put him over the top. I know he had the interception for a touchdown, which obviously, was probably the main reason he was MVP. But, ignoring accolades, just from a point of view of sitting down watching the game, I don't know if I've been more impressed watching defensive back all season. Alteron Werner had a terrific game. I'm trying to think of which one it was, where he was reading their routes and he was jumping them. He was the wide receiver, and the wide receiver is defensive back. Werner's the cornerback for the Titans. I think it was against the Cardinals, where he was just running the Cardinal receiver routes, and he was just in on every single play. That was impressive. Patrick Peterson's game against Calvin Johnson was equally as impressive. But I think this Cam Chancellor game tape... what happened here? We have slow motion. Anyway, this Cam Chancellor game tape, from a safety perspective, Eric Weddle impressed me against the Colts. This was more impressive than Eric Weddle's most impressive game of the year. There probably, realistically, was not one better safety playing game of the year. I just can't imagine it. He had one mishap from a safety position where he was playing, not going to kill the guy. There's Chancellor at the end of the second quarter, playing deep third. You can see that Earl Thomas is not as comfortable underneath as Cam Chancellor. But I don't think this is more impressive than Tuck's 2011 Super Bowl. I don't know if you can actually be more impressive than Tuck's 2011 Super Bowl. Maybe Steve Young's 6 touchdown passes. But it might not be better, but you can argue it because that was a clinic. And if I were still coaching high school, I think I'd sit down with our defensive backs if we ran cover 3, and I would just say, you guys are playing that monster back that you don't think is as important as our 2 cover guys on the outside and our deep safety. Watch the impact this guy makes on a play-by-play basis. He's taking away routes. He's not giving up anything. No yards after catch. He might be giving up a catch, but no yards after catch. You'll take 5-yard completions. But what he was adding elsewhere, that's fine. That was a clinic. I'm walking away more impressed now than I had been talking this up. He plays the position flawlessly. And again, gives up the catch there. That's another weak spot in the cover 3. Tackle immediately. No yardage. Bobby Wagner's there too. He plays this terrifically. They found guys that fit the system very well. It's just pathetic. Well, I guess this was the 4th down play. I tell you, I didn't think that not having Ryan Clady for this game was going to be that big of a deal, because they did so well throughout the season, but it mattered. Definitely mattered. So, anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. That was very, very fun. Well, it was about 40 minutes. That was a very fun 40 minutes. That was one of the most enjoyable breakdowns I've had. Chancellor really can't say enough about what he did, and just overall to see how Seahawks did. Offensively, I think it's very stagnant, very vanilla, but that's what they've been all year. Wilson does what he has to. They really have to improve his pocket presence. It's hard. It's tough to criticize anything after you crush a team in a Super Bowl, but defensively, I wouldn't change a damn thing. Get those same 11 guys, put them back out there, find a way to sign Cliff Averill. Though I think Cliff Averill, you could move on from him and do just fine. I don't think he's really anything special. I have concerns with him. I'm not a big fan of Cliff Averill, but maybe moving away from Jim Schwartz was the best thing for him. But outside that, defensively, Bobby Wagner's terrific. Obviously, that secondary's got it going. Maybe just let Browner walk and let Maxwell take the position. There's really looks solid there. And, just offensively, work on pocket presence for Wilson. And, this is the team that repeats gotta be a realistic idea at this moment in time. Obviously, we always say that about Super Bowl champions on February 4th, but it's just a very impressive performance, and I hope Chancellor got enough recognition in this game, and it's a guy I'll definitely be watching a lot of next season. Keep an eye on him and see how the Seahawks kind of utilize his ability, because you see that he can do so much. He's bigger than Robert Mathis, I believe, bigger than Dwight Freeney, so he can play off the edge, play linebacker, can play nickel corner, as we saw against Julius Thomas. Can play deep third, the Earl Thomas position. I mean, he does it all. So, that was terrific. So this will be up on YouTube, and next step is I'll be breaking down college recruits, or college players for the NFL draft. I have recruits on mine because 3 hours time, things start getting a little nutty. But thanks for tuning in, and it's been a fun year, and we'll start looking towards the draft. So, alright guys, take it easy.